Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. Just put some hand cream on and I went a bit overboard with the hand cream, so I'm just trying to remove some of the excess. So I shall do my usual waffling until I can see some people coming in the room. I wonder whether the lovely Mo is going to be the first to comment this morning and say good morning to everybody like she always does. So I can see we've got some viewers coming in, and once the chat kicks in, I'm sure Sue will be in the room. There we go. Good morning, Mo. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you are too. Lovely to see your smiley face. First thing on a Tuesday morning. Lovely Ken is in the room as well. Good morning. Got lots of sneaky peeks. I know Ken loves a lovely sneaky peek. Julie Campbell, Sharon. Here we go. Everybody's coming in. Gloomy Shoreham. What's it like outside? I can't read now. I've just been outside to check the weather. Good morning, lovely Pat, Lorraine, Bobby. Yeah, I think it's a bit overcast here. It was quite blustery this morning. Bitterly wind. That should be my message from Sue. Sue says it's all good. Thank you, lovely Sue. If you've got any questions, Sue's there to post some links. See, we've got the lovely Josie in the room today. Jane's there as well. I'm sure Glynis will be popping in at some point. So I've been having a bit of a play as well. You know those lovely metallic pens that we've got back in stock? And you know last week I showed you how we can use them to trace out on the Groovi plates. Well, for me, this is sort of a bit of a game changer. I had another play this morning, and yes, if you haven't got these yet, that's all I'm saying. I'm terrible. Good morning, Shari. There we go. Everybody's coming in. Raining, but you're at your boyfriend's in Glasgow. I know it's weird weather, is it? I mean, it should be a lot colder, shouldn't it? For this time of year, really. And we've had some lovely sunshine the last couple of days. Did we have sunshine? Yeah, I think Saturday was nice. Took the dogs for a walk. Yeah, and then Sunday wasn't so nice. It was very sort of grey and drizzly and cold. Oh, Glynis has got a new little icon on her Facebook. Didn't recognise the little red circle from lovely Glynis. So yeah, so we've got lots of sneaky peeks today. And I mean, the main reason we're here really is to have a look at the next tool. We're going to have a look at the butterfly tool this week. And then I think we've got one or two more tools to follow. And then we're going to have a look at that lovely layering plate mate from Tina Cox that went absolutely mad on TV last week. So did we get a storm yesterday? I don't think so. I think we had sort of rain, and they were forecasting this morning that we was meant to get some thunder and lightning. So if I disappear, it's because we've had the thunder and lightning. So, but I think they've been forecasting. I've had like weather warnings and on my phone and stuff, but it is what it is. Good time to stay in and craft, isn't it? So Jane said it blew a tree down at the top of her road. Ooh. I think it was meant to be focused more north, wasn't it? I think it was meant to be North Wales and coming across that way. I think it said on the news, but who knows? So, so yeah, it seems to be north, doesn't it? Yeah. So, okay. So should we have a bit of a recap while everyone's putting up a chair? I've got my trusty coffee, nice and hot. It's very hot, and we've got a really sort of busy couple of days ahead, starting tomorrow. For those of you that tuned into the Shack, Barbara would have sort of gave you a breakdown of what we've got coming up over the next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. So while we're all putting up a seat, I've written it out, and I thought what we could do, we could have a look on the overhead. So if you want to make a note, let me just zoom in on that. And then if you want to to do a screenshot, or what way am I going? I'm going in, I'm going this way. I'll reposition it so you can get a look at what's coming up. Thursday looks very busy, doesn't it? So tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, we've got a brand new one-day special launching with Barbara, and I'll show you later what the new designs are. Then Barbara's back on at 9 o'clock with the second hour. Then on Thursday, 10 o'clock, and then once that show's finished, Barbara will jump in the car and head down south. I'll finish off the one-day special at 2 o'clock. Then at 4 o'clock, I've got the last of the Linda Williams layering frames collection, new and exclusive, part 6, and a super special A4 sampler plate, which I'll share with you later today. Then Barb's in the shack at 7 o'clock via our Facebook and YouTube page. Then straight after that, I've got the second hour of the new and exclusive. And then Friday morning, I've got the third and final hour of the new and exclusive. Then I'll be heading south, ready for the craft along on Friday evening with part 5 of Linda's layering collection, which was the Celtic collection. And then on Saturday, the lovely Tina is back on Create and Craft, and she's going to be showcasing her Christmas parchlets with her new platemate, which she launched last week. So so lots there to keep you entertained over the next 4 days. There's a space for a bit of a break to have a lie down in a dark room, top up on your coffee and your biscuits. But yeah, I'll bring this in again a little bit later once we have a few more people in the room, so that everyone can have a look. But I just thought if I pop that up like that, it's easier for people to see if they want to take a picture of it or on their phone. So yeah, so we head up to TV on Wednesday. Yeah, all good fun. So, and how are we all doing today? Great fun in the shack yesterday, wasn't it? With those lovely twiggy baubles. And when Barb showed me what we're going to be doing, and I could see obviously the circle one, the round one, and then to break down that lovely sort of teardrop one, so clever, just the way in which it was broken down. So if you missed yesterday's shack, then you can watch that on over on our YouTube page for catch up. And yeah, all good. Good. So let's have a recap on what we've been doing over the past few weeks. So we've been looking at some projects that the lovely Linda Williams created. I need to zoom out now. Oh, and stretch. It's like yoga, groovy yoga. So Sue will pop the link up for you. These are our projects that Linda created. These are our Pergamano tool focus. And what Linda did was she covered a few of the tools that weren't in the multi-needle handbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. So we've previously looked at the semi-star tool, and there's 2 different downloads for each of the tools. So you've got the focus on the tool with some hints and tips on how to do different things with them. And then you've got a project using some lovely designs. Okay, because these lovely Sue's put the link up for us. So we looked at the semi-star. Then last week we had a look at the drop, didn't we? And then if you wanted to, you can download the project for that one. So this week we're going to have a look at the butterfly one. Now this isn't one that I'm very familiar with. I mean, the drop and the semi-star, really sort of, I've seen those in use, but I've never really seen what you can do with the butterfly tool. Excuse me. So I thought we'd have a look at this one this week, and you can see what Linda's done. She's enlarged the area so you can see what you can do. And then you've got a couple of extra patterns on here as well. Then different perforating techniques where you line them up side by side with equal spacing, or the reinsertion technique where the last needle goes into the first needle, etc., etc. I mean, this is quite clever. I like this effect here. Might give this one a go. This looks interesting. So again, you've got all these sort of tips and tricks in there as well. Breakdown on different tools, how to introduce embossing if you wish to. So yeah, so that's what we're going to look at this week. And then there is a lovely project that Linda's created, that lovely mallow flower. And then she's used the butterfly tool to create that lovely frame. So that's what we're looking at this week. Then next week, we'll go on to the final tool, which is the wave tool, or Wiggly S. And then after that, we're then going to have a look at that plate mate from Tina Cox with those lovely parchlets. So it gives you a bit of time just to get the heads up on that one. So let's pop these to one side. We're using the same equipment that we've been using all along since we've been working with the multi-needle tools. So there's nothing new apart from the actual tool itself. So let me just find the butterfly. It's going to be the last one I pick up, isn't it? Oh, there we go. It was the second from last. So this is the butterfly tool. There we go. You can see that. Looks like the antennae, really, doesn't it? So this is what we're going to look at today. We need our download. And if you don't want to print off the whole thing, if you want to save some paper, then just print off the second page. So I'm just going to take that page off there, like so. And I'm actually going to take, no, I'm not going to take these off. I'm going to keep these as a reference to look at because I want to have a play with this particular pattern. I think this has got, come on Mo, what can we see here? We've got Space Invaders, or we've got little, they look like little people. Look, what do you think? This row, where am I looking? This row here, they look like people holding hands. Or is that just me? Oh dear. Excuse me. All right, let's pop these one side. So we need our patterns. Where's the other one gone? Let's take the other one off. Don't want that one. So I want this pattern. And then I do want the second one as well. So I want this one as well. So I want the two patterns. Then I'm also going to need my super foam. I need my pico foam. Then I also need 2 tumble dry sheets, my Groovi guard, some Groovi tabs, the tool in question. Very importantly, I need some parchment, and potentially we're going to need the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the starter kit. Okay, but we'll see how we get on. So that's what we're going to need for this session. Space Invaders, I still think it's little people holding hands. Paper dolls, Glennis said. Yeah, I can see that. We could draw little faces on them, couldn't we? Draw a little nose, mouth. I know, it's sad, isn't it? Doesn't take much. It really doesn't. So we'll gather all our bits together. Have we got any newbies in the room today? Anybody coming across us for the first time? Jelly babies. Yes, Mo, they do look like jelly babies, don't they? Yeah. Oh, I haven't had a jelly baby in ages. Okay. I think we're all good to go, aren't we? I think we're nice and chilled, and we'll have a look. So what we're going to need first come back on the overhead. Let's move our patterns out of the way. We're going to start off with our Pico foam because we're going to shallow perforate first. We do have a newbie in the room. Good morning, Wendy. Welcome. And where are you watching us from? Well, I don't want to come over. Look at those bushy eyebrows. Welcome to Groovi Tuesday. Okay, so Pico foam first. Then I'm going to take my tumble dryer sheet and lay that down. Then I'm going to take my pattern and we're going to do a warm-up practice run, evenly spaced, reinsertion. Oh look, we've got the little mini jelly babies here. Oh dear. I know I fancy jelly babies now, Ken, as well. From Shropshire. I bet it's quite windy up in Shropshire, isn't it, Wendy? Okay. So then I'm going to take my I'm going to take my parchment and I'm going to wipe both sides of my parchment with my tumble dry sheet. Okay. And we're doing this, or I'm doing this, in case I want to do any white work or any embossing. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come in on the other camera, but I'm just going to, let's put a piece of decisions. I'm going to go like this. Let's put it the width of the paper. Then I'm going to take my Groovi tabs to hold it in place. Oh yes, don't forget the parchment party. Up to 60% off on some of our parchment. Anyone think it was Grey Friday approaching? Okay. Now I'm going to bring back in my super foam because I want to lubricate the needles on my butterfly tool. So the butterfly has 6 needles. So not so many as what we've used previously. Okay, so you can see there how you got that butterfly look. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to perforate our tumble dry sheet. Try to look at what you're doing and not look at the camera in front of you, because that could turn the tumble dry sheet red. And we don't want that, do we? Oh dear. Yeah, so as Barb said yesterday with the Grey Friday event fast approaching, we thought we'd share the love, start early and sort of offer various different products to you in the lead up to Grey Friday. So on Friday just gone, saw the launch of the parchment party. So it's clear parchment, colour parchment, designer parchment, up to 60% off on some of those lines. And then yesterday was the paper, pens and pencil tranche. So if you belong to sign up to our emails, then you would have been notified of that yesterday. Again, some fantastic things. So if you're thinking, oh, Christmas is coming, we're getting a set of pencils for a friend, or maybe I need some more pens. You can never have too many pens or pencils. Perfect opportunity. Right, okay. So I'm going to come in on this camera here, and this is the area we're going to look at. So I'm going to turn here, and I'm going to bring that camera in a little bit closer without it going too blurry, hopefully. So let's have a look. I'm going to zoom in a little. There we go. I'll come in nice and slowly so we can see, hopefully, what we're doing. Okay. So who's going to be perforating with me, or are you all going to watch to see what I can come up with? I reckon you're all watching, aren't you? Or you all just jumped off and gone over to the website for the parchment party. Well, we can have a party here, can't we? Okay. So if you've been following Groovi Tuesday over the past couple of weeks, I've always been undecided on what way to hold the tool, whether I come from the back of the pattern and come inwards, whether I go from the side, and it has varied from tool to tool. And normally, by the time of trying it the third way, I'm happy with the result. So when we look at the actual tool, you've got the widest tools here. I definitely need my glasses. Oops. Okay. Oh, helps if they were clean, but there you go. So this is where they're evenly spaced. So if I look at the tool, now the tip of the butterfly, okay, when we look at the actual design itself, if I look at it on here, it might be easier. So when we look, these two needles that are at the top of this are longer than the rest of the needles. Okay, so I'm going to have a look. So do I want to come in from the bottom, line up the needles, bring the tool upright, push, and then perforate? Okay, so do I want to do it that way? Or do I want to come from the back with the shortest needles, bring that forward, and do it that way? Not so comfortable. Or do I want to come in from the side? Let's have a look. So if I go there, there. So if I do it this way, I don't have plain sight of the needles in the back. Okay. So for me, I think I'm going back to my first option because that was my better. I mean, it might have just been pot luck, but I'm going to find that this is easier to put the two longest needles at the base, bring the tool upright, and then perforate. Okay. Ladies of the design team that have used the butterfly tool, I'm sure you all have. Which is your preferred method of inserting the tool? I mean, I'm guessing because Linda's laid it out this way, then this is probably the easiest way of doing it. Okay. But sometimes you've just got to look, haven't you, and see what's comfortable for you. And this is a lovely tool to work with because it only has 6 needles. It doesn't require that much pressure to perforate through both the parchment and the paper. Okay, so we're just gonna, this is like our warm-up. We're sort of walking around the field, and in a minute we're going to start jogging, and then when we get further in, we're going to start running. He says, because I'm trying to hold this to the camera so you can sort of see. I've got drawing coming over the top. Don't make it easy on myself, do I? Okay, so Galina says she turns the paper sideways and works towards her. Pat's saying it's more accurate. I'm definitely finding this way is more accurate. Maybe if I had gone from right to left, might have been easier. Not sure. Okay, so I've had my warm-up, and the second one definitely wasn't the best option for me. If I take a piece of black card and we tilt that up now, we can see how, look, they look like little butterflies. Isn't that clever? Okay, so now we're going to do the reinsertion. So it's where we've perforated, like we do with a 2-needle tool where we jump along one space at a time. Well, this time we're just jumping along the whole width of the needles. Okay, so groovy guard back into place, line up the 2 longest needles like so, bring the tool upright so you can see the back 2, and then perforate. So then what's Josie up to now? Josie turns the paper sideways and works away from herself. It's horses for courses, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, everybody finds their own way. It's the same with picot cutting. Everyone finds their own way of doing it, whether they go away from themselves, towards themselves, they use the spoon position, the fork position, they hold it flat, they hold it in their hands. So whatever works for you, really. And I think now, because we didn't know what the rules were when we took on Pergamano, so we couldn't break any rules. That's fair enough, isn't it? If you don't know the rules, you can't break them. And I think as we progress and we look at what we're doing, sometimes by thinking outside that box, we can come up with something amazing that we never even thought of. And I'm going to show you something in a minute. I mean, I'm not saying I thought of it. I'm sure somebody out there has thought of it already. But I was quite chuffed with it, what I found last week, that I shared with you. But I want to share something even better with you. I know, I'm terrible. Right, so now we've got our... I mean, when I show you, it's going to be so obvious. You're going to go, oh my goodness. Okay, so now we've got our row of butterflies. I'll come in on the overhead once we've done all of the perforating. But now we're about to do the jelly babies. And then when we've done the jelly babies, I'm going to show you something, what I found. Not what I found. I did this morning as a result of last week. Okay, so, right, this is a bit different. So we're going to go in here like so. And we're doing that. I'm going to do the whole row first. It looks like kisses from this angle, doesn't it? Doesn't look like jelly babies. Looks like crosses. And then, so this is the reinsertion method where we're just moving along one at a time, like so. Make sure we're going in a nice straight row, because Linda has very kindly provided the pattern for us. And you can reuse this pattern a couple of times. Okay. Karen says it's a nice clean groovy guard. I only use it for parchment. I try not to get it near my ink pads. Oh, I can't remember last time I did any stamping. But yeah. Right, so we're going to do this row here. So it's the same process as what we've just done over here. And now I'm going to turn my paper around because it feels more comfortable for me. So if I turn it around like so, let's put my tumble dry sheet back in place. Okay. And now I'm going to reinsert the 2 needles there, bring the tool forward, and now we're going to have a row of jelly babies. That's all I'm going to see now when I look at this pattern, is jelly babies. That's Mo's fault. Okay. But this is a lovely pattern. I love this pattern because I can see that you could do some lovely white work or colour just in the middle. Okay, so like so. Okie dokie. So now let me come in on the overhead and we can have a look at what we have. So I'm going to bring it up just for ease. Can we see that okay? So the top row is butterflies, albeit they're upside down. Let me turn it that way. So you can see now, you've got your butterfly, but they don't look like butterflies. They look like crosses. Isn't it weird how they look different from what I'm looking at on the screen? That's really weird. Okay, right, so let's pop this to one side. Are you ready for tease number one? No? No, you don't want to see? Okay, well, shall I carry on with this one then? I need a slurp of coffee. Okay, right. So last week, prior to Groovi Tuesday, Barb showcased the lovely Pergamano metallic gel pens on TV. And last week before the Groovi Tuesday, I was having a play. And I found that I could use the pens to push into the groove to trace out the designs. Okay, so this was a lovely flower from one of Tina's partridges that she launched last week. Okay, so that's what I shared with you last week, didn't I? I mean, these are lovely. So this morning, because I'm prepping for the new and exclusive from Linda Williams, which I'm going to show you in a moment, I thought, I wonder. And wonder I did. And this is what I came up with. Hang on. I'm going to do it on the overhead. So this is one of the Celtic frames. I'm going to bring that black mat in so I can bring it up. Oh. So all of a sudden now, I've got a lovely metallic frame. Okay, that I could put anything in the middle of. I wonder if I come in on this camera, you can really see that metallic sheen. But even though it's debossed, it gives the illusion of being embossed. Okay. Now, the new plates. Oh no, I took a Tuscany one. I did it with Tuscany as well. Okay. So now, all of a sudden, for me, it's opened up my artwork. Because instead of having the white line or black line art where you trace it out of a micron pen, to have these pens to push into the groove. Now this is a sneaky peek of one of the frames that are coming up. Okay, coming on this one. Look. Okay. And I'll show you one last one and then I'll stop. Look at that. Coming on this one. Now, okay, let me tell you something. I made a mistake and I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? Because when you're tracing out with your embossing tool and you're working with a Groovi plate, you're pressing in and you're tracing out. And if you jump out, nothing happens, does it? Does it? Well, nothing happens. But if you jump out of the groove with the pen, it does. It draws on the parchment. Okay. So I thought, oh no, I've just spent 10 minutes tracing all this out and I've slipped because I was impatient. What do I do? What do I do? That's what I do. The double-ended eraser pencil. I can use the pink or I can use the white end. It really doesn't matter. Where I made a mistake and I slipped out of the groove, I was able to remove just like I would with the pencil. Okay, so because I was thinking about it, and they are sort of like a water-based pen, but they lose the metallicness, the luster if you sort of mix them with water. But I wonder, and then I'm thinking, have I got to be quick? Have I got to wait while it's still wet? But no, because let me just show you. I don't really want to take it. This was one that I did last week. Okay, so I can take out. So this was done last week. Okay, and I can now remove the pen. So if I go over the edge, this is where I've coloured in the front though. But if I was on the back and I'm tracing out and I went over the edge, I can very carefully rub it out. Okay. So I'm glad I found that out this morning to share with you. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you because I was really chuffed with that. And I just love these frames. So for many of you that have previously invested in some or all of those lovely frames from Linda, now look at them differently. Now look at them using this as your frame and then putting your lovely piece of artwork in the middle. Okay. Right. I was well pleased with that this morning. Okay. Do you want to have a look at, first of all, I'm going to give you a sneaky peek. Well, I'm not going to give you a sneaky, I'm going to show you the dies that Barbara will be launching tomorrow at 6 o'clock as part of the one-day special. I haven't got any artwork, but I shall show you the dies. So they are taken from designs that you'll be familiar with that you drew in the shack. Those lovely Japanese rounds, and we turned them into circular stencils, didn't we? I say we. So we've got 3 Japanese dies. Japanese because they went with the design. So these are Beauty, Love, and Peace. Now they come with 2 dies so that the panel in the middle can either be solid or it can be a little window. Okay, so that's set 1 for you to choose from. Then set 2 is the other ones but in square. So we've got leaves, we've got roses, and then we've got snowdrops. Okay, so these will launch tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock on Create and Craft. Okay, as part of the one-day special. So there's a peek of what's coming up. Okay, Ken's wife has hidden his wallet. I haven't finished yet, Ken. She'll be hiding more than your wallet, I can assure you. Then on Thursday, this is the final collection from Linda Williams in relation to the layering frames. And this has a Greek theme. So we have the windmills of Mykonos. Now, Linda's prepped all the demos for me. Well, she's done the cards and then Lynn Jackson has prepped the demos. Okay. Now, Linda always sends me some notes, some backgrounds on the sides. Now, she was really torn between 2 different frames for this particular plate. So what you've got is one half here and another half here. But you can continue it, as you know, into a full circle. So this is the windmills of Mykonos. And remember I showed you what I traced out on the blue? Look, that's that design there, but it's that way. Okay. Then we have Santorini. Lovely one here. I think when you see these, you automatically think, oh, but I do, just white buildings, lovely blue roofs. But look at these lovely flourishes and leaves around the outside. And then we have our dotted cross stitch, and this is our dotted cross stitch lemon tree. Okay. Then we have our companion plate, as always. And this is the Eat, Sleep, Travel, Repeat. And you've got lovely lemons in there and some beautiful flowers and blossom. So that's what I'm launching on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Exclusive to the TV until 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, when they'll be available on our website. And let me share some artwork with you, and then I'll show you the final plate in the collection. So the first piece we're going to look at is a lovely piece by Linda herself. Look, see how the doodle dies. Who'd have thought the doodle dies would work beautifully with these designs? Then, using the same imagery in the middle, we've got the piece from Carol Baker. See, exactly the same, just different color palettes. Then we have a piece from Hazel Edwards, our newest design team member. Doodle dies again. Then we move on to Santorini and a piece from Linda Williams. Then as soon as I saw this next one, I knew straight away who this belonged to. This was from Josie, because of that lovely pointillism, the dotted colouring in that she's done recently on a number of the various different designs. Look at that. Isn't that clever? A series of dots to build up the colour. Okay. Then the next piece is from Julie Campbell. Love it. I really love this little frame around the outside. I don't know whether I'd have the patience to picot cut. Then we've got another piece from Linda using the dotted cross stitch lemon tree, and this is using our lovely rainbow parchment. Then we've got a piece from Glynis using the same lemon tree. And then we have another piece by Jill, and Jill has stitched that together. Then we move on to the companion plate. Remember last month, Linda had that moment of clarity. And so now this is what Linda has done. So it's the full circle like so, but it's now wrapped around the card that you can do with nearly all of the designs from all of the collections. So we've got that piece from Linda. Love this from Jane. Jane's taken those little segments to build around the outside. And then the final piece in this collection is from Glynis. And this gives you a sneaky peek of the last plate that's coming up. So the last plate in the collection is an A4 sampler. Similar to what not similar, we did the same with the Christmas treasures. So each row represents each of the different themes that Linda has created. So we've got Christmas, countryside, Japan, Tuscany, Celtic, and finally Greece. And then you have these lovely circular discs around the outside. And here's a couple of pieces from the design team. So this one is from Josie. Then this one is from Jane. Love the colours on this one. Very ethnic, I think, on this one. Now, Linda got a bit carried away. Well, I say she got carried away. What she did, look, she created a little gift tag that you could pop on a present. But then she created this series of notelets. using just those tiny little squares, 4 of them, and the doodle dies. Okay, and then look, changing the colour. Look. Wow. Aren't they amazing? Absolutely stunning. So that's your sneaky peek of the new and exclusive. That's your sneaky peek of the 1-day special. That's me playing with the metallic gel pens. Oh, worn out, just sharing everything with you. What else have I got on my list? We've got the TV schedule, which we had. Let me bring that back in for those of you that are just maybe tuning in, just finding us. Let me just put that back on the overhead. I'll zoom in again for you. And stretch. Oops, stretch. Which way? This way. Whee! Sorry, that was a high-pitched wee and a little bit too fast. Hope you didn't fall off your chairs. Okay, so this is what's coming up over the next 4 days. If you want to take a photo of it, you can. As well, I look through my list. So, gone through the TV schedule. We've had a look at some new and exclusive designs and samples. We've had a look at the ODS product, which is those lovely dies. Okay, so that's the ODS tomorrow evening. On Friday evening, we've got the craft along, and that's using the Celtic collection. I'm going to do that lovely black and white Celtic heart. And I'm going to use the, I'm going to have a play, it says I'm going to have a play, with the Pergamano acrylic gold paint. Now, there is a list of ingredients that you can download from the website. I'm sure the lovely Sue will pop that up for you. So if you want to join in on Friday, then you can download your ingredients list. It's like a tick box to make sure you've got everything. So that's on Friday, and I'm going to have a play with that as well. Made a little twist on the theme. And then what else have we got? So we've got the parchment party, which is currently in place. We've got the paper, pens and pencil party, which kicked off yesterday. All this partying, no wonder I'm tired. Right, let's go back to Butterfly Tool. I think I've teased you enough now, haven't I? So let me pop all this to one side, because I'm going to take this up to TV on tomorrow to show on Thursday. So I think it's interesting. Okay, so let's go back to our design. Okay, helps if you can look. So I'm going to have a look at the jelly babies. I'm going to call them jelly babies from now on. It's no longer, probably not allowed to call them jelly babies. They are squidgy, chewy people. Can I say that? Probably. Whatever. Okay. So if I take it off of the parchment, off the paper, let's have a look. So there's a couple of things I want to try, and it's probably been tried before, and it's probably in the instructions, but I haven't read the instructions. I'm just going to give it a go. So if I come back in on this camera, I'm going to put my Pico foam back in place. Now, often when we reperforate, we reperforate with the 1 needle fine. I reckon I can get away with, it says famous last words. Mo says, gelatine infants. Doesn't sound the same, does it, Mo? Gelatine infants. So I'm going to try the 1 needle bold and 1 needle fine, which has disappeared. There it is. Okay, so normally we would reperforate with the fine needle. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's compare needles. So I'm holding the tool upright, And I'm just going to go back in. I say probably, I could probably reperforate with the butterfly tool because there's not that many needles. Okay. So what is Tina up to on Saturday? So Tina is on TV at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Get Groovy with Tina. And she's going to be showcasing, for those be new to many of you, are Tina's Christmas parchlets. And she's going to be using those in conjunction with the new PlateMate that she launched last week. Okay. Right, so I'm reperforating with the one needle fine. That's working fine, as it said. That's right, Mo. They don't sound as appetizing, do they? Maybe that's stop people eating them. Now I'm going to take the one needle bold and I'm going to reperforate with the one needle bold. Now it doesn't look very nice. I'm going to hold it up in a minute. Now it just looks like a wave. It doesn't look like a delicate little butterfly. Okay. I hold that up. Can you see now? Oh, I don't know. From a distance, it looks okay. Not sure. Actually, I quite like it with the bold. On the camera, anyway. On the screen, it looks okay. So then, right, I'm going to try now. Right, before I go in and reperforate the gelatine infants, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do a little bit of white work. So for that, I know I'm impatient. I'm going to take my pink mat, okay, and put my pink mat in place. And I'm going to work on turning it over now on the back. And I'm going to play it safe. And I'm going to go with, let's have a look. That's the number 3. That's the number 2. I'm going to try the number 2, I think. So let's have a look. So I'm sort of coming in to create like a diamond, sort of, to infill. Don't know. It's sort of, that's the better way of doing it. It's more like a star. Let me bring it in and show you. You see, the second one I think is definitely better. Okay. Wobbly babies. Wobbly. I think it's just, yeah. I don't know. We'll just call them jelly babies. We'll call them perforated jelly babies. Okay, so what I'm doing now with the number 2 tool, I'm just creating like a diamond or a star type of effect. And it doesn't matter if I squidge down the perforations on the back, because I'm going to reperforate from the front in a moment. So just going to bring that in like that. Another option, if you're unsure, is that you could have a look at Linda's pattern that she's done, and she's doing exactly the same to create that pattern. I mean, what you could do is take your pattern underneath and draw it with a pencil first if you're a bit unsure about going freelance or freestyle, freelance. But I think I'm getting the idea of it. And we're going to go back in and then just fill those areas. Okay. Now, in an ideal world, you'd let those rest, but we're in groovy world. I'm probably being shouted at because I'm going in too fast. But for the purpose of demonstration, but I think it's fine. It's not. It's just showing you, isn't it? What to do, what not to do. What was it? Mr. Stay Puff. I'm guessing you'll still talk about the gelatine infants. Funny how, yeah, I'll be careful what you say, but I know when we're on TV, you have to be careful with brand names and stuff like that, because obviously you can't seem to be, unless it's your own brand, obviously. Right, so let's have a look. Let's turn this over now. Yeah, not bad. Oh, where are we going? Okay, some look better than others, but it's all about the pattern, isn't it? And it's all about practicing and having a play. So now what I want to do is do I want to reperforate with the bold or the fine? Should we have a little vote? Hands up if I go bold. Put B for bold, F for fine. They're dancing. Oh, Mo, you crack me up. You really make my day. You really do. And I mean that genuinely in a really nice way. I look forward to. Right, so we're going B, F, F. Oh, I have to be careful there. B, B. Neck and neck with the B and Fs. B, B. Oh, I think the B's going to be a winner. Right, I'm going to go bold. The B's have it, so to speak. So I'm going to bring my super foam back in, my Pico foam on top. Oh, perfect little size. I'm going to go bold. I was about to say I can happily report, but I can't. It's not really happy. It is now raining. I can hear the rain outside. So it has finally arrived. As I say, they did forecast it. Careful, Paul. They forecast thunder and lightning as well. So maybe that will follow shortly. All I can see is these little people holding hands. And when they look like aliens when I do the top row, it's like two big bug eyes. Right, so I'm going to do, I've got these three are going to be bold. And I'll do these four in fine. No, fine, I'm going to, no, don't risk it. I was going to try and be clever, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to go with the fine now. And if I did catch the perforations when I was doing my white work, what it does, it just reperforates and reinstates perforation, as you would expect. It's like one of those really slow sewing machines. You just need to be able to make sure you're going back in the hole and you're not making an additional hole. Snow angels. What's a BME? Oh, sorry, I couldn't perforate and read all the messages. I'm confused now. What's the BEMS or BEMS? Now, which do I prefer? Let's have a look. Do we prefer bold or bug-eyed monsters? Oh, goodness me. It is definitely raining now. I don't know whether you can hear it over my mic or not. But okay, so what do we prefer? Do we prefer bold or fine? I suppose it comes down to the design it is that you're working around, aren't you? And there'll be people that will say, no, it has to be fine, or I prefer the fine. I don't know. Where am I going? They both work, I suppose, in there. So we've got mixed reviews, mixed opinions, not reviews. And it's neck and neck with bold and fine. So you can't sit on the fence like that. You can't say fine and then 2 messages later say, I'm bold. That's not allowed. Fine is fine, bold is bold. So yeah, have a play, see what you can come up with. Sometimes, unless you'd maybe spend 5-10 minutes playing, because you can read through the instructions and you know what you hope to achieve, but sometimes you'll do something a little bit different and you'll get a different result. And then you just got to remember how you got that different result. But yeah, I like bold. I like the bold. And on that bold note, I cannot believe it's just gone. Well, it's dead on 11 o'clock. So thank you once again for your company. As always, the lovely Sue in the room, putting all the links up, the lovely design team. I always feel like I'm saying an awards thing. Thank you for this. But without the team, there is no me here. And to Linda Williams for creating beautiful design plates, creating the piece of artwork, Lynn Jackson for staging it, and the fantastic design team for coming up with all the ideas and inspirations. So I'm not going to cry. So don't forget, I'm going to leave this. Where's it gone? I'm going to leave this as I wish you goodbye on the overhead, just so that you can have a final shot of that. So final recap, and then I will disappear. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, one day special with Barb on Create and Craft. Then Thursday at 10 a.m, third hour of the one day special with Barb. Then I take over at 2 o'clock with the final hour of the one day special, while Barb heads back, hopefully not in the rain, tomorrow, Thursday. And then I'll be launching the new and exclusive at 4. Barb's in the shack at 7 with lovely Gracie. I'm back on Create and Craft at 8 o'clock with the new and exclusive. Then on Friday morning, 8 a.m, the new and exclusive final hour. Then a nice slow ride back down the motorway to enjoy your company again at 7 o'clock on Friday evening for the craft along with the Celtic collection. And then finally, to wrap up the week, we have the lovely Tina Cox on Create and Craft, Get Groovy with Tina at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So hope you all managed to make a note of that. And I'll see you either Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If not, I'll see you next Tuesday. So hopefully this weather will disappear and just stay in craft. Get that butterfly tool out and have a go. Or get those gel pens. Go and grab some Groovi plates and have a play with your gel pens. Cool. So, and I will see you when I see you. Take care now, everybody. Bye bye.